again. We're back at Grammar 1, week 28. I'm glad to see you back. And we're going to spend most of our time today on spelling. If you've noticed that in English, it's not exactly the easiest language to spell, is it? There's so many different exceptions. You just don't even know, you don't know what to do half the time. You have to look it up or ask somebody. But there are some tricks that might help you when you're writing, and I am going to show you some of those tricks, and you are also going to make a book about it, okay, or a page about it in your book. It's going to look like this. Let me do it so just the page shows. And so what I would like you to do, we're going to kind of do it together. So you're going to need to make your page first, and then you'll be writing on it as we talk. And these, as you see, are flaps. So just glue the end part. Just glue this part right here. All right? So that you can have some, so you can open up your flaps. All right? And these are the things we're going to talk about with your spelling. So when you get that all done, we'll just go through it, okay? Get your pencil ready, and you can look at your lesson too, because that has all the different words on it that I am going to talk about. So you can look at that and listen to this and make sure that you get it all covered. All right, so let's get started. Go ahead and open up, if you look at the very top one, you'll see that it says homophones. We have talked about homophones a lot. We've talked about it in grammar, and we've talked about it in spelling. Homophones are words that sound exactly the same. All right. They aren't spelled the same, though, and they usually mean different things. All right. Now, the thing about homophones is you just kind of have to memorize those. There's just there's not a real strong rule about them. You just have to memorize which ones to use where. All right, so open up your flap, and you will be writing some examples of homophones. And I will open my first flap, and I'm going to have to hold it this way. There you go. And you can see what I've written. And we've talked about these very homophones. There's to, which means something like, I am going to the store. There is to, which is TWO, that's the number 2. And then we have TOO, to, and that means also, I am going to the store too. All right? Then we have there, and there. The first there, THERE, is I am going over there. Okay, it's a place. Then we have THEIR, and that is a possessive. Would you please put away their toys? All right, that is a possessive. THEIR. And then the third one is a contraction. It stands for they are. And that would be the easiest one to remember because it is a contraction. You can always just try out if it makes sense in the sentence to say they are. One thing that helps me sometimes is all three of those theirs start with THE, especially on this one. Sometimes it's hard to remember, is it EI or is it IE? Well, all I have to do is remember that they all start with THE, all right? So you can go ahead and write those underneath your first flap. Then we're going to go to our second flap. I'll close this up and I'll open this one up. Some words are just rhyming words. So if you know one of the words, then you can probably find other words that are spelled just exactly the same except for the first letter. And some of the words that I have put here are sand, land, hand, band. There's all kinds of rhyming words. If you can think of some other ones that end the same, you can write those too, or instead. These are just the ones that I have written. All right. The third flap says use words I know. So, what does that mean? You might know a word, and I've written 3 here. You might know a word that ends in IGHT, which is kind of a funny spelling for a word, and it says it stands for ite. And then you might think, okay, there's other words that sound or end kind of like ite. They might be spelled the same way. So I have written down bright, light, fight. Those are all words that end in IGHT. And again, there's lots of words like that. Words that have certain endings, and all you have to do, and it's kind of like the rhyming words. So we're kind of, these two are kind of the same thing. All right, so some words have special endings, and all you have to do is change the beginning letter, and it has the same special ending. Sometimes you have and we have actually talked about this. Sometimes you have a very long word, and you just there's nothing but to break it up. Sometimes it's called chunking it, and we kind of break it up into syllables. We've done that. We've done that in spelling, where you've just taken your finger and you've covered up part of the word and figured out what's there, and then you've moved your finger a little bit and figured out what the next part says, and so on. And so that's kind of what you're doing here. And I've just written one word there, tomorrow. It's 3 syllables, and I have just divided it up into the 3 syllables. Put a little dot in between the syllables. Sometimes you can just put a slash mark, which is often what you do in your spelling assignments. Okay. There are certain clues that you can count on in English. Now there's a lot of things about English that are different and change and they don't follow the rules and all that. But there's some things that are almost always the same. You can count on it, all right? And one of them is that Q and U always go together. Any English word that you will see, except for maybe, maybe 3 that come from other languages that don't have this rule, but almost every word that you'll ever come across that has a Q in it always has a U after it. And the words that I have written down for that are quilt, queen, quite. All right. I have a granddaughter named Quinny. That's Q-U. And so it's always that way. That's one of the rules that's always that way. All right, and there's probably other ones too, but that's really the one that I think about the most. Then we have something called word families, and probably when you were first learning how to read, you had to read lots of word families, and all that is, and it's really similar to the rhyming words and using the words I know, because it's words that all end the same way. So the ones that I've written, there's ACK, for instance, one of them. So what you can do is you can say all kinds of words that start with a different letter but end with ACK, like back and lack and mac and quack, and all those words, they all end in ACK. So that is the ACK family. All right. Then there's other words that end in AME, like game. Okay. How many words can you think of that end with AME? And so on. So we have AY. Some words end in IP. Some words end in ORE. More, core, for, so on. And then we've already done the IGHT, so you don't need to write that unless you want to, okay? So these are some different tricks that you might want to think about as you come across words that you don't know, or if you have to write words and you don't know how to spell it, you might think of some of these clues to help you with it. The main thing, though, that can help you more than anything if you don't know how to spell a word is to use your dictionary, of course. And you've heard me say that lots and lots and lots of times. Just open up your dictionary or use your dictionary app, and you know what? One thing that I have found through the years is one thing that really helps you learn how to spell is if you read. Read lots and lots and lots and lots and lots, because the more words you see, the more words you'll learn how to spell, okay? So part of doing spelling is doing lots and lots of reading. That really helps you, all right? So we are all done with our spelling. How about that? We're all done with our grammar. I mean, not our spelling, our grammar. How about that? Now you have another sheet of paper in here, and we talked a little bit about this last week. 2 stinging insects. You remember that? Did you write an outline of it last week? Did you notice that this page was missing last week? Well, it's because you were going to write it this week. So I was kind of dividing things up a little bit, and I may do that, and I probably will do that for the rest of the year. If you already wrote it out on your own piece of paper, well, good for you. That means you don't have to write it this week. All right, but I just wanted to check to make sure you knew that this was there because you didn't have to do it last week. All right, so now we are done with that, and we're going to go to spelling. We're doing a lot of spelling today, aren't we? Okay, first of all, open up your spelling page, your first page, and we're going to read the words. And again, you can read them with me, or you can read them right after me. And then we're going to talk a little bit about, you have lots and lots of different kinds of words this week. A lot of times they only have 1 or 2 things that are the same about all of them, but this time you have more than that. So let's go ahead and read through your words. And the first one is birthday. We have people, present, candle, cake. They all have to do with birthdays, I guess. Children, gift, party, game, bring, buy, bicycle. All right, now, first of all, let's look at your last 2 words, your bonus words. And the word buy, B-U-I, that's the kind of buy that what you do in the store. You go buy something, all right? And that's a different kind of buy than B-Y. So make sure that you get that straight. And then, of course, bicycle. We've talked about the different sounds of C, the K sound and the S sound. All right, now let's look back up at our list words. You have some words there that have consonant blends in them. Now remember, the consonant blends are 2 consonants together that kind of slide together, but you hear both of them. You can hear both sounds. So you have PR, pr. You hear the P and the R, don't you? You have the BR, br, and then you have the FT, ft. All right, what I'd like you to do is take your highlighter, go through each word. Whenever you see a PR blend, a BR blend, or an FT blend, go ahead and highlight that. Another kind of word you have there is a word that has the vowel A in it, and it's a long A because it has a silent E at the end of it. The silent E makes the A say its name, A. So what I would like you to do, and actually I really only, there's a couple of the words. Let's go down to number 9, game. and then you can look at for the rest for the other words that are the same. On that one, you're going to highlight the A and you're going to highlight the E, and that will help you remember that those are two very important parts of the word, and that the E makes the A say A. All right. So then we have another thing that we're going to talk about here, and that is the digraph, consonant digraph. What's the difference between a digraph and a blend? Well, in a blend, like I said, you hear both the sounds, like pr. All right? Digraph is different. You have two consonants, but it only makes one sound. So the digraph that you have in your list word today is CH. Ch. Okay? So what you're going to do is go look through your words and see where the CHs are. You really only have a couple of words for each of these. All right? But so that's all you're going to do. And then you have then up here in your this week's focus, another thing it says that you're going to do is spell 2-syllable words. But you've already marked a whole lot of your words, and with the other different things we've talked about. So we're not going to do any marking of those words. So really, that's all we have to do today. So what you can do now is start working through your packet, and I will see you again next week, and I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.